How's it going, everyone? Thank you all so much for watching Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great Wednesday so far, and as well as a great start to your day. And today is March 5th, 2025, and in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about another large storm that's going to be coming to the United States as we get closer into the middle of March, and this could bring similar impacts, as not only could we be seeing the potential for heavy snowfall on the northern side of the system, which would be pretty similar to this one, but we could also be seeing the potential for more severe weather with this next one as we get closer into the middle of March, which will be another big storm to watch very closely as we are expecting some pretty big impacts from it. But before we talk about the storm system, we will also be going over what we can expect with the rest of the storm that we are dealing with right now, which still has the potential to bring a severe weather outbreak today, which we will watch very closely. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as we are here to keep you all safe and prepared before and after big storms roll on through. And another thing I recommend doing is turning on all notifications, as we'll be live on this channel whenever there's a big severe weather event rolling on through. Now, I may not be live for all of a severe weather event because I am pretty busy a lot of the times, but I definitely will be live for at least part of it. So consider doing that so that way you guys don't miss out on my future live streams, as I will indeed do one sometime today, but it mainly depends on when the severe weather outbreak does happen. But consider doing that if you haven't done that already. Make sure to also help get the word out there to everyone by liking today's video and sharing it with friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. I definitely appreciate it. Let's first start off by going over the severe weather threat for today, as this storm is going to continue to bring some really big impacts. We are going to be seeing the potential for severe weather across the East Coast, especially where you see that enhanced risk. We could be seeing severe weather anywhere from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way up there into Virginia Beach, at least for the highest chances of it. But we even got that slight risk, even heading as far north as northern Ohio, even into the Erie, Pennsylvania region, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Washington. All those areas are going to need to be on the lookout today, as I am expecting this to be a pretty big event once again. But the good news today is that we aren't expecting a tornado outbreak. We may see a few weak tornadoes today, but we are not expecting any significant tornadoes like what we were doing with yesterday. But I still want you to be on high alert, as we do have a shot of potentially seeing several weak tornadoes depending on how this plays out. So I would recommend continuing to have your tornado action plan in place, just in case if you do live across the coastal areas of the Carolinas or even up here into Virginia Beach. We also will need to be watching for damaging winds. The main concern is going to be damaging winds for today, as this is really the only thing that's driving that enhanced risk. We even got a hatched risk in effect, which means we could be seeing wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. So this is something to be on the most alert for, as I do think this wind could really cause some pretty big issues. So make sure to secure your objects, and make sure to also try to stay at home as much as possible, because driving on the roadways, especially in high powered vehicles, can be pretty dangerous, especially because the strong winds like this can really blow vehicles over. So I recommend trying to stay indoors and also away from windows, because we'll even have strong wind gusts even ongoing that aren't produced by thunderstorms, and we will talk about that in just a second. But from what we know so far, though, you're definitely going to want to take this very seriously. And of course, for large hail, not really expecting much down here, but we may see some up here around Pittsburgh, so we will need to be watching this very closely. Let's talk about those wind gusts now, and as you guys can see, those wind gusts for today are going to be pretty strong. Like I said, we're going to be seeing strong wind gusts that also aren't produced by thunderstorms. We could be seeing wind gusts right across the East Coast, heading from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way up there into places like New York, perhaps, could all experience winds as high as 60 miles per hour, guys. That's the reason why I recommend recommend you guys staying home today is because driving on the road in high profile vehicles is very dangerous, especially whenever there's severe thunderstorms around. But either way, it's going to be pretty dangerous overall, so make sure you use extreme caution when driving on the roadways if you must. After that heads out, I think we'll be tracking some more high wind gusts, so we will continue to watch it very closely. But from what we know so far, though, these are going to be the wind gusts to continue to watch for, as we'll even have some wind gusts of 50 miles per hour even lingering on the backside of the system, which we will watch closely as we head throughout today. Let's now talk about this next storm that's going to be coming our way, which as of right now, we are still doing with a lot of that snow on the backside of that system as well. So we will continue to watch the storm, as it won't only just be bringing the potential for strong winds, but also going to bring the potential for severe weather and also damaging winds produced by thunderstorms. So that will be another thing to keep an eye on. After that, our next big storm won't come till we get to March 13th. Now, we may see a little bit of a rainmaker as we get into Sunday, March 9th, but our next big storm won't be till Thursday, March 13th, where we're going to have the potential for some pretty big snowfall on the northern side of the system, with potentially even some severe weather ongoing on the southern side of the system. And the reason why is because if we look at those CAPE values, you guys can see that those energy values may not be high, but they will be enough to support severe weather, as even areas up there into northern Illinois could be seeing CAPE values around 1,000 joules per kilogram, and maybe even some areas down here into the Ohio Valley also gain some pretty big CAPE values as well as we get into the middle of next week. So this is going to be something to really keep an eye on very closely as we get into the middle of next week, as this is when I'm expecting there to be some pretty big chances for severe weather, like I said. But it's a little too far out to really tell, and of course those moisture values will also be a little bit on the lower side of things. So we will continue to watch the storm very closely, as I do think it is going to bring some chances for severe weather, and of course that rainfall could also be a little bit of a problem as well. But from what we know so far, though, it's just going to be heavy snowfall on the northern side of that system, and also some severe weather potential on the southern side of that system. Those are going to be the two main things to watch for with this next system. But overall, though, I do expect this to be another big concern, and then after that I do expect more big storm systems like what we've been seeing, where we see snowfall on the northern side and then we see a lot of that rainfall on the southern side, which we will be watching for a few more of those storms to roll on through after we get past the middle of March, which we will continue to watch very closely. Now, the last thing I want to go over is going to be our temperatures. For our temperatures, you guys can see that our temperatures are still continuing to stay a little bit warm, as we still got this storm system around. We are going to have a pretty big cold front rolling on through right behind it, but after that, we then start to see a much bigger warm-up roll on through parts there of the eastern United States, and I do expect even another big warm-up to roll on through as we get into the middle of March. And once again, we're even going to have a lot of these cold air shots, as you can see, rolling through after the storm systems, which a cold front is pretty crazy, especially given the fact that a lot of these cold fronts are also going to be triggering the potential for severe weather. So we are going to continue to watch it very closely, as we're going to be seeing a lot of these big warm-ups, and then we're also going to be seeing a lot of these cold shots rolling on through, which will more than likely lead to the potential for severe weather as we head throughout the rest of March. And then another thing I forgot to point out is our snowfall. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. For our total snowfall, you guys can see that we will likely be tracking those higher snowfall amounts up to the north, as we'll be tracking that snowfall potential on the northern side of those systems. Other than that, though, winter does not look like it's going to be as bad as what we saw back in January, where we saw that snowfall much farther down to the south. But you guys up here to the north still need to be paying attention, as over a foot of snowfall could still be possible, even over there in the higher elevations as well. So this is going to be something to continue to watch for, as very heavy snowfall does appear possible, even across the lower elevations out here in the west, which we will need to be watching very closely. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's weather forecast. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we are here to keep you all safe and prepared before and after big storms roll on through. And another thing I recommend doing is turning on all notifications, as we are planning on being live sometime today. Like I said, it depends on when the storms start to fire, but we will be live sometime today. So consider clicking all notifications, and I hope you guys help get the word out to everyone by liking today's video and also sharing it with friends, family, or anyone you know on social media. It also really does help support the channel a lot, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Wednesday out there. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.